love the post-apocalyptic theme, and then like the fight scenes. What did you like? I'm assuming there's like fight scenes and stuff in
Oh
there. Like,
yeah.
how
Hell
do
yeah.
you write a fight scene? Kind of like, what kind of choreography do you use? Do you use stuff from like experience or from like stuff you've read from other books, or a little bit of both? How does that work?
It was a little bit of everything. Um, you know, it's when you're writing, it's a lot different than if you're watching a movie, if you're reading a book,
Yeah,
because you know, if you're watching a movie, you get a scene that's fast paced. Whereas in a book, it's inherently as fast as you make it. So you kind of have to do
yeah.
some tricks there. But I mean, there's a bunch of like really big action scenes there, a bunch
Oh
of
wow.
really good it's a very fast paced story. You get about, you know, a quarter of the way in and you're like, okay, this is something I want to read. And then it just you just go, you know, it just moves. I mean, the one comment that I'm hearing from a lot of my readers is that they read it in like 48 hours, you know,
Oh
and like
really?
yeah, like it just moves. You know, it's a fantasy world, right? So it's not the earth as we know it. And you know, the rules are different. It's not just like,
Yeah.
okay, here's a story about a guy living in, you know, suburban Philadelphia. This is a whole new world. So as a reader, you gotta kind of get your bearings. You have to kind of understand the terrain a little bit. And
Mm.
as with all fantasy stories, I think. And what I really tried to do with this story is I wanted to do that stuff as quickly as I can so that we can move. You know, it
Yeah.
was like, all right, because I don't want to slow down. You know, I don't want to spend chapters talking about, you know, the trees or the settings, you know, no
Yeah.
disrespect to Tolkien, but that's just
No.
not my style. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted
You've
it to
seen one
read.
tree, you've seen them all.
Yeah, I wanted to move, and that's what the
Yeah,
story was. So
dude,
the
I
action,
love that.
yeah, yeah, action fight scenes and all that stuff. It was pretty much in league with the rest of the story.
Nice. Dude, I mean, I'm a big fan. I love that. There's another author, we'll shout out. I'm a big fan. His name's Jonathan French. And dude, he's kind of like one of those things I really like is like you start fast, but like people don't realize I think you can use like action sometimes as a great like character building as well. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
People think you need like tons of backstory and intrigue and all that stuff. It's like you can get that through like a fight scene. Like if you have one guy, right, who's, out like he's out to protect his friends and like things like you get a lot of what his character is by like, like through loyalty and commitment and things like that. Like you can get that out of a character through a fight scene because he's out there trying to save his friends, protect his friends. You have another person that they can't control and they go off the edge. Then you have you know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of different things you can get through like high action or movement, and you don't have to sit around and talk about your feelings and all that BS. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm sure there's plenty of that type of character development. I'm not saying, I don't want to discredit any of that, but I'm saying, like if you want to keep it moving, keep people engaged, especially now in this, in the world we're living in, you need to keep people in it and people
sure.
pumped about it. Man, that's awesome, dude. I love that. I love that idea of like keeping it going, keeping it moving, making things happen. That's fun.